Hey Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. It's Halloween, and that means today we're reviewing a ghost. That's right, we're taking a look at Ghost Jaga, which, I'll be honest with you, is not my first choice for a Halloween-y type pick, but there's been so much G.I. Joe lately, there just haven't been a ton of horror releases that I have felt like were must-haves, and this arrived just the other day, and I thought, well, there's a ghost, that's what we're going to review. What was interesting about this one to me, I'm collecting the ThunderCats Ultimates line from Super 7. I did not buy the first Jaga release because to me, Jaga is not a guy, like a flesh and blood guy. Jaga is the spirit, the ghost, the whatever. So I always wanted this one, and I felt fairly confident Super 7 would release it because it's just a redeco, and that's their wheelhouse. So I just waited, I was patient, and now I've got the Ghost Jaga. That's what I always wanted. Interesting that this did not come in one of the brown mailer boxes. I think this is the first Super 7 release I've gotten in the Ultimates line that did not come in one of the brown mailers. Doesn't matter, but just an interesting note. As you can see, there's like a crazy rainbow shimmer effect on the packaging to denote Jaga's ghost-like form. Let's go ahead and slide the slipcover off. And there he is. That is the Jaga that I wanted on the shelf with my ThunderCats. I'm pretty excited about this one. I'm a big fan of translucent figures anyway, but especially when there's actually a reason for the figure to be translucent. Right here on the back of the box, we've got a little bio going on. Long ago, Jaga served Claudus, original lord of the ThunderCats. Charged with guarding the treasures of Thundera, he became a mentor to Claudus's son, Lion-O. During Thundera's destruction, Jaga led the exodus of refugees. He later sacrificed himself to pilot their flagship safely to the distant world of Third Earth. Yet his spirit continues to guide a now adult Lion-O, reaching out from the spirit realm in times of great need. Doesn't sound familiar at all. I can't think of another large franchise where a mentor character has guided a young, inexperienced novice in a ghost-like form. Doesn't sound familiar to me. Very innovative concept. Now, translucent figures can be a little dicey. There is a history of issues. Oh, I like the little ghost background they've got going on here, too. Very nice. There's a history of potential issues with translucent figures, and hopefully Super 7 has sidestepped all of those. Everything from sonic welding problems to the quality of the plastic used. It's just something that seems to not always be the easiest thing to pull off. Even though, as a child, I remember having a pretty decent number of clear, translucent, whatever you want to call it, toys, and they were all pretty okay. So, but I think just modern manufacturing, the needs of articulation, whatever else, just make it more challenging now, perhaps, than it was back then. All right. Twist tie out of the way. We'll do our best to carefully remove Jaga from the plastic. And I really like that. I like the weapons that he's got in there. Alright, so I'm going to take his cape and I'm going to kind of fold it up and try to pull it through the slot. Well, those arms really don't want to come out. I'm glad I made the decision to not save my Super 7 packaging anymore, because it does make it a lot easier to get stuff out when you're not concerned about keeping that plastic tray in decent condition. So, as I said, I don't have the original Jaga, so My assumption is that these are all the same accessories, just cast in the translucent plastic. Oh, I like the gold finger effect going on over there. We'll take a look at that in a minute. So, first up, we will examine Jaga. Kind of typical ThunderCats form, articulation, and everything. But man, the translucency is really, really nice on this one. He's very clear. It's not the sort of smoky clear that you sometimes get with these kinds of releases. Like, it is a nice, icy translucence. It looks really nice. I'm going to be very careful manipulating all of the joints for the first time because of the potential issues with translucent plastic. That shoulder is being a little difficult. There we go. Standard Super 7 articulation, which, and this is all personal taste, but my favorite articulation in the action figure world. It's as much as I need to get a figure to do what I want it to do. It maintains the aesthetics and the profile of the figure. It's just what I like. So you've got swivels at the biceps, swivel at the top of the elbow. And look at, all right, I guess it's about time for a zoom. Oh, okay, so that's interesting. His cape is affixed to the top of his leotard, I don't know, up here. So there's a little peg that pegs into the top of that to keep his cape in place. And it seems to work pretty well. All right, so yeah, let's do the zoom. Portrait looks excellent. I love the way that they've done the helmet with the clear spike on top, and then the actual painted panels up here in like a nice glossy paint. The deco on the face looks perfect. Eyebrows, beard, eyes, the face markings looks really, really good. But look at this crystal clear. I say crystal clear, but I mean it is. It's a very, very nice translucency on this guy. It looks fantastic. So he's got his markings on his chest here. The belt looks great. This is awesome. I mean, this is what I wanted. This is the Jaga that I wanted. He's got a waist swivel in the way that his cape and his clothing, I keep saying leotard because I don't even know what that is. But anyway, the way that's designed is it moves, so you still have the range of articulation there, although how much do you really need out of a Ghost? Put those arms up. Standard hip articulation from Super 7. Everything moves nicely. Man, I'm not going to lie, I was very concerned about the potential fragility of the joints here, but everything feels good. Everything is moving nicely. And if you'll notice, the joints aren't... Sometimes with these translucent figures, you can see where the joints are pegged together and it just doesn't look very good. Here, everything looks really nice. You see the boots have a little different color to them than everything else. This looks great. This is what I wanted. It feels good. It feels sturdy. I love translucent figures, but I have not purchased some of the other ones that they've done in the ThunderCats line because, my gosh, at this price point, unless the character is specifically intended to be translucent, I just can't go for like... Well, I don't know that Frozen Lion-O is translucent. That's more of a repaint. What did they do? They did Invisible Tigra, which, you know, it's cool. But for $55, I just can't go for that. Whereas Jaga here, I mean, this in my mind is what Jaga should look like. So this was worth... this was the one I wanted. So there's that. Let's take a look at his accessories. Let's stand him up over here to the side. And we've got a sword that is unique to Jaga. And as you can see, the blade is somewhat translucent. But looks great, sculpted nicely. It is a more rigid, it's flexible, but it's not rubbery. It's a more rigid plastic. So that's cool. Very sharp blade. One of the things I love about Super 7 is these are for collectors, so they don't worry about things being sharp and pointy for safety reasons. And then look at the detail on the hilt there. Just all that painted detail. Really fantastic. And then he also comes with the Sword of Omens in a translucent form, which I'm sure is a specific thing from a specific episode, but I have not watched ThunderCats possibly since I started collecting. Because ThunderCats on Hulu is what got me deciding I had to have this line. And I watched the whole series through back then, whenever I first started getting these, and have not revisited. So a lot of things have kind of fallen out of my head. So if there is this look of the Sword of Omens at some point, I don't remember where it is, but I'm sure somebody can tell me in the comments. And then finally, an assortment of hands. You've got your typical choices here. You've got your up and down C grips. The default figure are side-to-side C grips, and then you've got kind of some open grasping hands. And then the gold finger reaching out hands, which again, I'm sure this is, or one, it's just the right hand. I'm sure this is episode specific. Fill me in if you know, but it looks cool. Let's see. Just because we're here and just because I'm super hyped about the quality of this figure, let's swap a hand out. Oh, yeah, great. Oh, man, yeah. That felt really sturdy. You know how sometimes, those pegs get a little scary. Not just for Super 7, but for lots of different companies. But that felt great. That was a good transition. And there's his golden-hued fingers. And there he is. I think I'm going to give him, there's no reason for him to have a C-grip here. I'm not going to have him holding anything. So I'm going to give him kind of a relaxed hand on that left hand. It's going to be a little more passive there. And I'm going to figure out what this is from, because this is what I want to pose him with just because it looks cool. But there you go. The not so spooky Spirit, or Ghost Jaga. I would have said Spirit of Jaga, but it's Ghost Jaga is the official name of this guy. And he's fantastic. He's great. I love the way this is executed. It kind of makes me want the Invisible Tigra just because this looks so cool, but not going to do it. Thanks for watching, you guys. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. Have a great and awesome Halloween, and stay tuned. Tons and tons more toy reviews coming the rest of the year. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm a ghost. Ooh.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.